I love you. And I'm so excited for this conversation. Seriously.
It is the best. It is the best. When we get together, it's like Wonder Twin powers activate in the form of amazingness.
Amazingness. I know. And you are, thank you for suggesting to move to Vegas, because we are having an absolute blast here. We love it.
It's not for everybody. It's definitely for us.
Definitely for us. Definitely for us. We love it. We can do raw here. We can do raw anywhere. So it's all good. Oh, you should pin your comment to the top.
Oh, I thought that I did pin it. It's just so many people were joining. And
yes. So my friend Angelica, Yogalebrity, you guys should go give her a follow, because she offers so much advice on, I mean, I'm not a yoga teacher, but I get a lot out of your posts. I enjoy listening to them and applying them to whatever else I have going on in my life. So, right, like so much stuff in the motivational world or even in the raw food world, you can apply it to other areas of your life, which is a beautiful thing.
Definitely. It's been super cool because, you know, I like getting on live and talking about yoga and how you can change your mindset with the science and the practice of yoga, and how amazing it is for your body and for your mind and for just like anything that you want to achieve in life. Using actually the mindset of yoga, not even the physical practice, but transcending that and going beyond that is really life-changing. And so I love sharing that with people, and it's been super cool to be part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, because there's so many people that I've had lives with that are in the same wavelength, and we've had some incredible conversations. And since I've been doing these lives, I actually am transposing them all to my podcast. So if you didn't listen to any of them, some of the highlight ones were like with Fruity Ronster, with Fruity Ava, with Chris Kendall, these conversations with Lexi. The conversation I had with Lexi was so incredible and in-depth and deep about yoga and weight loss and mindset and raw foods. And so it's been really cool to have these conversations just about the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. But I know there's only a few days left. So if you're on this right now or you're listening to it later and you haven't grabbed your Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, please do go to the link in my bio or in Lissa's bio, Raw Food Romance, or you can go to this link here, bit.ly/raw yoga retreat, which is named after my book that's in the bundle, Raw Yoga Retreat, which is an at-home retreat. Lissa has multiple books in the bundle, and her husband also has a book in the bundle. There are over 50 books and thousands of recipes. You're getting each book for less than $1. It's an incredible value, and it is so great. It meets you at all the levels. So if you're just coming and you're just getting into raw vegan lifestyle and you're not sure what to do, there are some really simple and easy recipes. I know that Fruity Ava's book has really approachable, easy to use recipes. There's books on mindset, like Lexi's book. There's books on debunking myths about veganism, like Ron's book. There's my book about yoga. There is more, like, once you're ready to level up, there's more complicated and amazing recipes by Raw Food Romance. There are raw food chefs that live all over the world. This is truly a global bringing together the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle of just a powerhouse of human beings that are here to offer their experience, strength, and hope to you. So if you have not grabbed the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, I think you have like 2 days. So you need to do it ASAP. Do not wait. Do not delay. Get it. Once it's gone forever.
Yeah, once it's gone, once this bundle is gone, it'll never be the same. Like, we'll bring it back, but it'll have totally different stuff in it. So if people want like your yoga book and they want my party food book and Chris's 21-day meal plan and Nate's Alive book, like, you could get them all for $50 and that's it. Like, you pay $50 and you get all of those books. So simple, and you get it all. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and on November 2nd, if they want your party book, it's going to be like $45. You know, so like, one book for 45 or 55 books for 50. It's really up to you. Make your decision there. I think it's an easy one.
Yeah, totally right. I love your concept of it because, I mean, in these days, it's hard to go to retreats. There aren't a lot going on. And I want to run retreats with Nate, and I want to have you come and, right, like do all kinds of stuff. But right now, people can do their own yoga retreat with raw foods, and that's what your book is. I want anyone who's watching from my channel, could you expand a little bit about what your book is in the bundle?
Yeah. So I've been teaching yoga for 16 years. I've been practicing yoga for 35 years. I owned the largest yoga studio in the state of Nevada for about 10 years. I founded it. It's called Sin City Yoga. I founded it in a garage, and it grew to 6,000 square feet. I sold that studio in 2018, and now I do online yoga teacher training, and I do coaching with yoga teachers who want to increase their profits so that they can teach more people and reach more people and get the word of love and happiness out there to more people. I actually am launching in January one-on-one online yoga teacher training. So instead of doing a big group, I'm going to work with people individually to help them go to higher, like a higher level of understanding of the yogic concept. So instead of being in this group with all these other people that may be on a different wavelength than you are, may have different plans, I can work with each person individually to help them with their business plan and to help them understand the concepts of how to teach yoga on a higher level. What is it that they're individually needing extra help with? And then that we'll go through that within a 10-week period. And I noticed also running online courses that people don't finish. So if you've got to meet with me every week, you will finish.
It's so true. I mean, and like with anything in life, right? We don't always finish what we start. I know I've got a million things that I haven't finished yet that I've started. But yeah, when you have someone accountable that you're meeting up with and you can do it, you can finish.
Yeah,
you can finish
yeah.
and get your certification and start your dreams. I love it.
And really, like, ultimately, the goal is for people to graduate from yoga teacher training so that then they can go out and start helping other people. You know, the goal isn't to stay in teacher training for a long time and have a personal self-transformation. That happens along the way, but the transformation really comes from helping others. So I want to get people to finish their training so they can go out and actually help other people. So the book is Raw Yoga Retreats. And it is for people to create their own yoga retreat at home in a very affordable and approachable way. And it's really the roadmap. It's the path that I actually would host my retreat. So it has a schedule in there. That is the actual retreat schedule that I used when I have hosted retreats in the back or in the past. And the recipes that are in there are actual recipes that I used in the yoga retreats that I hosted. I would cook all the food with I would have usually 2 assistants with me, and we would cook all the food for everyone in the retreat. And it was really fabulous and wonderful. And so if you're a yoga practitioner and you're looking to create your own yoga retreat, this is a great guidebook for doing that. But if you're already a yoga teacher and you want to host your own retreats, just know that this is exactly how I hosted mine. So if you want to take that information and then create your own retreats for your own clients, please do use it as a guidebook for that. So it's a multifaceted, and I think I chose a lot of really beautiful photos, and visually, I think it's a very stunning book, and I'm really happy and proud of how it came out. And I also introduced people to a lot of my favorite kirtan artists who make yoga music, and I think that you'll really enjoy them. My good friend Sean Johnson and his band, the Wild Lotus Band from New Orleans, just came out with a new album 2 days ago. So check them out on iTunes. It is really great music. It's Sean Johnson and the Wild Lotus Band out of New Orleans, and they write kirtan music, which is a yogic style of music. That's a shortened version. It's a lot. Kirtan is a lot more than that, but for the purposes of this information session right now, that is what we can call it.
Right. I know, and that's the thing too. There's so much information out there about all kinds of topics, and we can never learn it all, but to have a compilation like the bundle where people can get a little bit of information from everybody and apply little things to their life, whether it's a new recipe you're throwing in new raw lunches and you look for that, or you wanted to do a raw yoga retreat, or you're going to a party and you want to take some kind of raw stuff to it, right? There's so much in there. There's also information books, like you said, like Lexi's mindset book and Nate's Alive, like how to grow your own sprouts and microgreens. So there's other stuff, not just recipes in there. There's so much. It's so wonderful.
I'm getting ready. I got my, so I joined this thing called Hama that they give you like pre-made microgreen sheets.
Oh.
But it's very expensive, right? So to get like 9 sheets, it's like $69. And they do a great job. It grows really nicely, but, you know, it's expensive. And so I'm looking for a way to do it less expensive. And when I was meeting with Nate talking about his book Alive, he said that you can, let me grab this. I have this sheet right here.
Nice. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see.
So they give you these sheets, right? They come in these bags, and it just has the coconut core on the back. Well, I'm talking to Nate, and he says you can just buy these coconut core sheets. And I was like, what? And so all she does is take these, and no offense to her, if you can afford this, she's actually a wonderful person. Please go and buy her stuff. But you can take these coconut core sheets, and she just puts seeds on top. So I can just like put seeds on top of the sheet and do it myself and not spend that much money. So this is really cool. It's a really neat concept, and these do work really well. But I'm going to definitely try Nate's way of just buying the coconut core sheets myself and doing it that way and see how that goes, because I can get other kinds of seeds too. I mean, she has a pretty good variety, but I really want to try the Sprout Man seeds with, I want to do radish. I love radish microgreens. That's just, oh, they have such a, like Daikon radish microgreens have such a tangy, amazing taste. You know what I like them in is vegan sushi.
Yes. Yeah. You know what else is really good too? Mustard microgreens. Yeah. Mustard microgreens, because they have that kind of a wasabi flavor to them. Ooh, that with radish would make the best sushi ever, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually going to be making vegan sushi for dinner tonight, I think.
Nice.
I've been craving it for a long time. And we've been traveling a lot. You know, we're living on the sailboat in Texas. Now we're living in a camper in Arizona, and we may go back to the sailboat in January. Not sure what we like to fly. We like to go where the wind blows us, literally. And but we're settled now for a few months, and so I can start growing some microgreens and start, like, you know, I can start making a bunch of food and stuff. So I've been really enjoying our new big, huge kitchen, because, I mean, huge for us, right?
Yeah.
You see my kitchens of the past. The galley and the sailboat, and the kitchen in the trailer that we had before this camper was much smaller.
Small.
Yeah. This is a really big. I just want to show everyone, and if you're listening to this afterwards, that's a king size bed, by the way, with my dog. And then that is my kitchen. Look at how huge that is.
That's awesome. Yeah, because RV kitchens tend to not have very much space. But see, you can make raw food in any space. You don't have to have a massive kitchen like ours or whatever. When I was in Canada, when I was living in my little tiny apartment downtown, I had almost no counter space. I had maybe like 5 feet worth, and that included the sink. So there was there was hardly any space for me to do anything there, but I made it work. Because that's what I wanted to do, and it made me feel the best. So you can do it anywhere, whether you have a gorgeous $1 million kitchen or you have a little tiny trailer kitchen or boat kitchen, you can make it work.
I will say on the sailboat, it was definitely challenging because we didn't have a refrigerator. We only had an ice box, and we would have to go and get ice like every couple of days. So that was different. So if you're living on a sailboat, I can, with no refrigeration, I can feel that it might be hard in the summer in Houston. I know that. But then you just, you know, luckily we lived really close to Ralph's and we would go grocery shopping regularly. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a testament that you can be a vegan wherever, whenever, however you travel. I started when I was 30, or I'm 35, when I was 11, 35 years, now going to be 36 years ago, I became a vegetarian because I bought this book by the Shivananda Yoga Institute. And I was growing up, I lived on a farm, and I was growing up, and we would slaughter our own animals. And I'll tell you that, like, people that say, like, well, when you live on a small farm, the animals are treated better. They're not. That's not true. And they don't want to die just as much as they didn't want to die at the slaughterhouse. Although I will say that the slaughterhouse is truly horrific, and I saw that at a very young age. And so I became a vegetarian after I read this book, talking about how when we eat the fear, pain, and suffering of animals, we're bringing that into our body. We're ingesting those hormones. We're ingesting that into our microbiome. It's becoming a part of who we are. And I truly believe that a lot of the reason why we're having so many troubles with people getting along these days, and throughout history, is from eating meat. And even when you think back to the warriors, who was it that made yurts? Do you remember
I don't remember.
It's like in Asia, there was a group of warriors, and they were nomadic warriors, and they found that if they drank milk, this was like one of the first times that people started to do this. They drank milk, and it made them more ferocious warriors. Really? Mongolians. Yes.
Mongolians. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Nicole.
And so, I mean, I don't, like, obviously these are my opinions, and this is just based on my life experience. I don't know if any of you have read the 4 Agreements, but I try to, like, think about that in anything that I do, that this is just the filter that I have. But I find that throughout history, in the times that we've been most violent, it seems like those were in heavy meat eating cultures. You don't see a bunch of raw vegans going out there and slaughtering each other with, you know, that's just not part of the ethical practice. So anyhow, so I read in this book that it said, you know, you ingest this into your body when you eat the fear, pain, and suffering of animals. And it made a lot of sense to me. Like, it made, like, I feel like a lot of things about food, it just makes sense. Like, it just makes sense that you would be feeling better if you ate things that came from Mother Earth, that grew from her, and that lived and vibrated with the sun. That scientifically studies have been done that plants do, like, people will say, well, plants scream and plants don't want it, and they communicate with each other, they don't want to be eaten. And that is true. That is true. They do communicate with each other. That's what, when you smell those smells, when you're cutting a plant and it smells, that's a plant communicating with other plants. Now, the difference is that studies have also shown when you pray over plants as you're eating them, and you're cutting them up, like, say I'm cutting up a radish, or I'm cutting up some dandelion greens, and I'm chopping it, and I'm saying, thank you for becoming a part of my body. Thank you for nourishing me. Thank you for being a part of this process of the cycle of life. Plants actually acquiesce and are grateful, or they accept their destiny of being part of the cycle of life. Animals never do that. Animals never do that. They always feel fear, pain, and suffering when they're being killed. And so for me, it's like this connection. So I started to have all that realization about 11, and throughout the years have studied more of that. And then my dad was a big fan of the Beatles, and Paul McCartney is a vegetarian. He's been like a lifelong vegetarian, and his wife Linda has a bunch of foods that she's passed away now, but she had a company called Linda McCartney Foods, and they make vegan foods in the UK. And so back then, like 35 years ago, when the dinosaurs walked the earth, we like everyone was vegetarian. There was no vegans, and it was really hard to, I'm sure that there were vegans, but we didn't, like, it wasn't mainstream.
Yeah.
You would, if you were traveling or you went to a restaurant, like it was iceberg lettuce and that was what you were getting. If you were lucky, there was some tofu. And that was like, tofu was like, whoa, there's a salad bar here and they got tofu and it's amazing. You were traveling in the airports, though, there were no grapes. You go to the airports now, there's like grapes and stuff, and it's amazing. And you're like, wow, I can get grapes and I can get all these varieties. I can get carrot sticks and hummus. What is this world? And but at that time it wasn't. So I didn't really start becoming vegan until I took my yoga teacher training in 2005. And I thought, you know what, when I'm taking this yoga teacher training, I'm going to go ahead and be vegan during the 3 months and see how that works. So I ate a macrobiotic vegan diet. And there's a book that I read, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really cool book about macrobiotics. I don't know how familiar you are with, I assume you're familiar with macrobiotics.
Yeah.
And so it's, you know, I took on the concepts of eating locally. And I felt really good. I felt really good. Like for the first time in my life, I felt really good. And I lost like 50 pounds. And a lot of that had to do with stress. I had a very stressful job that I left at that time as well. And so then I found raw veganism when I met you about like 2 years ago. And I don't know, Lisa probably doesn't remember this, but I have another account called The Crafted Carrot. And I would just post like vegan pictures on there. And I started to see her account show up in my Explore page. And she had these really great pictures. And I was like, who is this person? So I followed her. And then I would see she'd be traveling in Vegas. And I'd be like, oh, I'm from Vegas. You should go, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure that she just thought I was this like massive fangirl. And then I joined her course, the Course Creator Academy, thinking that I was going to make vegan books in Course Creator Academy that she does with this guy named Ted Carr, which is phenomenal and awesome, by the way. It's how I created my online course. And in the first conversation with Ted, he was like, you know a lot about yoga. And I created an online yoga teacher training. And I've had about 20 people in the training, and I've had about 4 people graduate, which is why I'm switching it to one-on-one. Because I don't want people to just sit there in limbo forever. Like, my goal is not to take your money and have you never teach yoga. My goal is to get you to teach yoga as soon as possible, because the more yoga you're teaching, the more people who can be helped with the science of yoga, and it is life transforming. So anyhow, so it's been really awesome. Lisa taught me all kinds of stuff about social media. Before I joined Ted and Lisa's course last year in September, I had 0 followers on Instagram. I did not have an Instagram for yoga at all. I started this Instagram and I have over 10,000 followers now. I've met tons of incredible people on Instagram. So, and every week we have this really cool call. Monday call is the one that if I go to any call, that's the one that I go to. And it's 9 a.m. on Mondays. We talk about social media and we really pump each other up. And what I've realized is having a community of people that are like-minded around you, even if it's virtual, is so crucial to our mental health and to feeling better and feeling good about our lives. Like, even if my course isn't like doing as well as I'd like it to do that week or that month or whatever, I mean, that's part of life. That's part of owning a business. Like, that's how entrepreneurship is. But when you're isolated and you're alone, it's even harder. And to meet with everybody every Monday at 9 a.m. and be like, okay, yeah, you know, like the shit's hitting the fan this week. And this is how I feel. And to be able to be raw like that and have people to connect that is priceless, and it's incredible. And I'm so grateful that I joined the Course Creator Academy, which if you are interested in that, just DM Lisa and she'll get you to where you need to go. But it's really cool if you're a vegan and you want to create online courses, or you want to write ebooks, or if you have like a similar thing that you want to do, like I did yoga, you know, but I think you have to be a vegan though, right?
Yep, gotta be vegan.
It doesn't matter what you do, what you're selling, but you gotta be a vegan.
Yeah, because it's cool because
club.
in there we're helping vegans who teach singing lessons. Like you do yoga. We have chefs in there. We have like athletes and all kinds of people doing all kinds of things, but the basis is vegan. And the reason why, I mean, the reason is twofold. We don't want to help someone create a course that teaches to eat animals. So for one, that's off the menu, so to speak. But we also want to have, like you said, a community of vegan entrepreneurs, because we're already a very small community. And when you join other courses or other courses that teach how to do courses, they might be like, well, veganism is such a small niche, or they might not understand why you have this ethical stand in your business. Like you don't want to be promoting any animal products or what have you. And they might not understand that angle because they aren't vegan. So we wanted to create a place where all vegan entrepreneurs could come and build their stuff along with other vegans. So, and even it's so cool when we're in the calls where we use examples using veganism, because we're all vegan. So we get it, we understand it. It's so nice to connect with everybody. And yeah, we're just helping to spread the message, because if I can help you, then you can help other people. So it's really about helping everybody to help everybody. That's the whole goal of everything.
And I think people really forget that also with yoga, the first step of yoga and the eight limbs, we call it 8 limbs. So the 8 steps of yoga, the very first one is ahimsa, which is translated in all yogic texts, every single yogic text. It is translated as not eating animals. That's the first step. Posture is like the 3rd step. So these exercises that we do, that's like the 3rd step. And then like the 8th step is enlightenment, but along past the poses is like meditation and concentration and breath control. And then you reach ultimate enlightenment. So, but you can't even get there as a yoga practitioner unless you are not eating animals, number one. And a lot of people in Western society, they, and I think Westerners do this with everything, right? We're like, well, that doesn't fit my role. I want to eat meat. I need to go to my family barbecue, or whatever it is that we want to do. I know I grew up in a really hardcore Catholic home, and there was multiple interpretations of the Bible happening there, and that fits our needs, right? And even the Bible even says that you need to be, you need to not eat meat, that animals are not put here for eating. And that's why my grandma grew up as a Seventh-day Adventist. And there's a book called The Blue Zones. Have you read the book, The Blue Zones?
I haven't read the book, but I mean, we all know, but I really do need to read it. It's on my list of a million books to read.
There's so many good books. We've been swapping books back and forth, and if you haven't read The Blue Zones, check it out. But also, Lissa's husband told me about a book called The Mountain Is You, and it's life transforming. It's life transforming. You are the mountain. Paul and I talk about this. Paul's my husband, and we talk about this a lot, about how in The Mountain Is You, they talk about how you get to a level of happiness, and then you don't allow yourself to go past that level, so you self-sabotage. And the book has so many incredible points of wisdom like that. And if we're struggling, like Paul will be like, are we self-sabotaging our happiness right now?
That's so true. And on that point, when I was younger.
Oh my gosh, you can have a raw vegan Vegas book club together at that.
Woo! We need to do that. We need to do that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we could totally. Oh my gosh. Something has been born. Something has been born here. And we should do like a monthly or whatever Zoom call where we all get in together and we share about books or read a book together. And then
I want to do that. Oh my gosh. Yes, we have so many good books. I would love to be a part of that. We should host that together, Lissa.
I agree.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Thank you, Raw Koala, for birthing like the best concept that we have for 2020. Well, you saw my you saw my manifestation that my screenshot
Mm-hmm,
that I
mm-hmm.
manifested today.
But yeah, on that note, I was thinking, when I was younger, when I first got into like the whole manifesting and mindset and everything, I was taught about, we have like an internal thermostat, which totally reminded me of what you said, is that like you have your thermostat set to, say, $40,000 a year. We'll use money as an example because that's a good one. It's set to $40,000 a year. And if you make more than $40,000 a year, you end up spending it. But if you make less than $40,000 a year, you'll do anything to find a way to get back to $40,000 a year. Because that's your thermostat. That's where you're set. So every time you make more than that, that's where the self-sabotage happens, because you're so used to this comfort zone. And that could be applied to like eating animal products as well. You go vegan and it's really uncomfortable, so then you find excuses, justifications, whatever, to go back. But if you're not eating enough or whatever, then you get cravings and stuff, and then you'll have to find your way back to that comfort zone. So the whole goal was to move your comfort zone up by using affirmations and focus and meditation, that kind of thing, to really feel what it would be like to make $70,000 a year instead of 40. And then when you're making $70,000 a year, how does that person live? What does that person do every day? What do they wake up doing? What do they plan into their day, right? And you have to really envision yourself up there. So then you're making $40,000 a year. Then when you eventually start to make $70,000 a year, you don't self-sabotage, because that's your new comfort zone. So yeah, that reminded me of that. It's such a cool way to look at it, was looking at it from a thermostat perspective.
It's interesting that you should be talking about all this right now for two reasons. One, because I was listening to the Rich Roll podcast yesterday on my drive, and Mel Robbins was talking about visualizing it in your mind. She had this really cool story about a painting that is really phenomenal. And then two, because my old supervisor just came on the live. Her name is Carrie Strecker, and we worked for the same organization. And there was one time that I wanted to make, well, there more than one time that I wanted to make more money than I was making. And so I was traveling full time with this job, and I was in Atlanta, and I think I was making, I want to say like $60,000 a year at that time, maybe 50,000. And I wanted to be making 70,000. So it's funny that you used that number. And then Carrie came on. And
the universe.
I know, it's so weird. And I said to my boss, I was in Atlanta, and I was like, well, just so you know, if you don't raise my, because I found out what other people were making, and I knew that like they were making a lot more than I was. And I was like, well, if you don't raise my salary, then I quit. I'm in Atlanta, I'll go home to Miami, and that'll be it. And she was, and we had this like standoff, and they called me 24 hours later, and they gave me the 70,000. So I did that with them a couple of different times. But, you know, in corporate America, like if you are performing and you're bringing in money, which I was, sometimes you got to play hardball with them. And it's scary. It's scary to do that. It's scary to put yourself out there. But I'll tell you that, no, you weren't responsible. I was already a district manager then. That was Susan. But but I don't think Carrie was even with the company anymore. She'd moved on from then. She's like, Carrie is amazing. She ran like a whole bunch of Walmarts. She ran a whole, like, she ran like a huge warehouse for Amazon. Like, Carrie was in the military. She's one of the coolest and most badass bosses that I have ever had. She's an incredible woman and a wonderful mentor, and I'm so grateful to her. And we recently had the opportunity I went to the ClickFunnels, the ClickFunnels conference 2 years ago or 3 years ago in Nashville, and she was working there at that time, and we were able to reconnect, and it was really very special and awesome. But but yeah, entrepreneurship is similar, but you are in charge of your salary. Mm-hmm. So if you want to have an increase in how much money you're making, you have to shift your mindset first, mm-hmm. and then create a plan to make it happen, and then let go and let God. And that third part is the hardest part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know it's hard because we have it opposite. We want to see it before we believe it instead of believing it and then seeing it, right? Because it's so, when we look with our eyes and we see the situation that it is, and it's like, well, I don't know how this is possible because right now this is how my life is. But if we change our mindset and what we visualize, that will eventually become, because I love that quote so much, that quote that says, we don't determine our future, we determine our habits, and our habits determine our future. So if you habitually lay on the couch, you habitually eat junk food, you habitually don't do the things that are going to get you further in your business, if you don't meditate, you don't visualize, if you don't habitually do these things, then you're not going to get to where you want to go. But if you create new habits and you start meditating and you start eating clean and you start exercising, you start building more on your business, even though it might take time, you're doing those habits that are going to determine your future.
It's interesting you should say that, because habits are something that I've really learned from you. Paul and I were coming back. We came to Vegas. We have a storage unit there, so we go to Vegas a lot. And Lissa had moved to Vegas, and Lissa and I had only known each other virtually, but we really connected. Like, I feel like Lissa is one of my soul friends that I was supposed to meet on this planet, and I'm so glad that we did. And like right away when we met each other, we're like,
I love it.
We were meant to be there an hour. We were there like 7 hours. So but after we met in person, Paul said to me, and this was really phenomenal on a lot of levels for us, but Paul said to me, wow, they have really strong habits and rituals in their day that make them successful online. This is what he said, I really didn't think that we could be successful in an online business until I met them.
Wow.
But seeing how you worked your business made him kind of be more on board to me and my online business. But I also was thinking about this just yesterday when I was listening to that Ritual podcast about the habits and what we create in our life. And I was thinking about how I am not, we've been doing all this moving around, whatever, this chaos, but it's not creating stability and habits in my life that can create the level of business that I want to create in the screenshot that I sent you. So that screenshot can only come to fruition if my habits are in alignment with it happening. And that's really all I have to do. And I think that's the hard part. People, everybody, I talk to other people that are in Course Creator Academy, where we all become friends, and well, some of us become friends, and I hear people consistently say things like, someone was about to sign up for another program that helped specifically with marketing and landing pages. And she was saying to me, do you think it's going to work? If I could just have a guarantee that it was going to work, then I would spend the 10,000 on it. And here's the thing that I realized in that moment, and talking to us today, is that there is no guarantee. So if you want to sign up for my course and become a certified yoga teacher, or you want to sign up for my Yogapreneur course and you want to create a sustainable yoga business for yourself, or you want to sign up for Course Creator Academy with Lissa, or you want to sign up for our future book club that's happening in January.
Heck yeah.
For
such a good idea.
You want to sign up for Lissa and Angelica's book club that Raw Koala just manifested for us. Your ability to be successful at those things will depend on your habits. My ability to be successful in my online course will depend on my habits. It won't depend on Lissa, Ted, or me. It won't. If I join Lissa's course or Ted's course, or their course together, or if you join my course, my success in their course is not dependent on them. And their honesty, or whether or not it's a scam, or whether or not it's good, or it will depend on the amount of effort that I'm willing to put into it.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh, that's so profound, because that's just like changing your diet. That's just like getting into a new workout routine. It's like we have to do the things every single day that we will do every single day when we are where we want to be. And that's why the word transition in a vegan lifestyle is so overused in a way. Like, it's more like a justification for a lot of people, because they'll go to a restaurant and say they're trying to be more vegan. They go to a restaurant and they look at the menu and they're like, well, I'm in transition. I'm just going to order this thing with cheese in it, whatever. The thing is that the transitional period is the time where you're practicing what you're going to do when you are vegan, or when you are an athlete. Like, what does an athlete do every day? They go to the gym, they train, they eat clean, they do all these things. So in order to be an athlete, you have to do all the things that an athlete does. And it's going to take time to get there. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to do all the things that a successful entrepreneur does every single day to be able to get to that level. Even though, and like we said earlier, like, you might not see it in the beginning. It might be slow. Like, it took me, I would say, 3.5 years before I had a full-time income. And it wasn't even that much of a full-time income. Like, when I was living in Canada, it was pretty cheap for the place that I was renting. Like, I think it was, I want to say, like 900 US a month. So it was pretty cheap. And my groceries were expensive. I didn't have TV. I didn't have any of that kind of stuff. I had a car, but I didn't drive it around very much. So I didn't have a lot of bills, but it took about 3.5 years before I was able to cover all of those little bills. And I was able to sustain myself by myself. But it took 3.5 years to get there. And now, even 7 years later, well, 7 years total, I now have a healthier income than it was before, obviously, as I grow, as I create more books and stuff. But I cover everything, and it took a while to get here. I had to do the things every single day that I knew I needed to do to get to where I am. I didn't take long breaks. I didn't stop doing stuff. I posted when no one was watching. I did lives when I had 2 people in my lives. I made YouTube videos even though I had like 5 views. I did it anyway, because it really was about a combination of things. Obviously, is to do the things that you need to do every day to get to where you want to go. But I was doing it mostly just to help people, because the universe rewards when you are of service to others. So my whole goal was to be of service to others and to share and to help inspire. And that, in turn, the universe was like, okay, I'm going to provide for you because you're providing for others.
Yeah. Yes. And I think what's really key about what you said is the habit changing. The habit changing that people are not, they're not getting. It's when you're in those points of transition and you're putting in effort and you're working hard. If you're not working hard to change your habits, if I'm not working hard to change my habits to those of a successful entrepreneur, or I'm not working hard to change my habits to what would a vegan do, you know, then I'm not going to be successful. And that's true for all of us. And then we feel defeatist, like, oh, well, I can't be a vegan because I messed that up at eating out. Well, but in the transition period, we weren't changing our habits to that of a vegan. So I think that's really crucial what you said. And I think, you know, I used the word that put in the effort earlier. I said that, but I would like to shift how I define that, because I think that we get caught up in this. I'm working hard, so I'm going to get results. And it's actually not about working hard. It's about changing our habits, changing our rituals, changing and transitioning. If I don't truly believe I can be a vegan, then I cannot. If I don't truly believe I can have a sustainable online business, then I cannot. If I don't truly believe in myself and give myself a pat on the back, then I am not going to get anywhere. If we're not giving ourselves the positive encouragement that we need, and we're not saying you're doing a great job, no one else is going to. I think that we all know that studies have been shown that when dogs are being trained, they learn much better through positive reinforcement. My dog is more likely to come to me when I call him if I give him a treat every time, right? And but if he's run off and I run after him and I smack him around for running off, then he's going to be really unhappy. And every time I call him, he's going to be like, no, I'm not. And what we're doing is we're doing that to our own minds. We're not believing in ourselves. We're not giving ourselves positive encouragement. We're not changing those habits. We're not like sharing our wins with ourselves. If you're not your own cheerleader, no one else will be, you know? If I don't say to myself, Angelica, you've done a great job, or Lisa, you don't say to yourself, man, I wrote this whole book. I made all these recipes. I did this all in 48 hours. How amazing is that? That actually happened. But, you know, I mean, the self-talk, if there's positive self-talk, then we are more likely to be successful. That's something that we have to shift. And the negative, and I've done it both ways. I've been very successful beating myself up, and I've been very successful being happy and telling myself I'm doing a good job. And every time I'm telling myself I'm doing a good job, I feel a lot better afterwards. Every time I've been telling myself that I had to push through it, I had to work harder, afterwards, my nervous system is wrecked. The cortisol has gone crazy in my body. I've gained weight. I'm exhausted. I need to sleep for 10 weeks.
Yep. I know, right? And then other things in your life fall out of place because you are stressed out with yourself. And I think also a lot of people, they have this negative view of being proud of yourself. Like they feel like, you know, the 7 deadly sins are like pride is one of them. But it's okay to be proud of yourself, right? Like we should be proud of ourselves for making good choices. The difference is don't be self-righteous about it, right? You're not going to go all over the place and be like, I did this, be all like self-righteous. But to be internally proud of those things that you've accomplished. And you, like you said, we need to get more of that and be, because we wouldn't be friends with people who talk to ourselves the way that we tend to talk to ourselves, right? We'd be like, I'm never talking, block, delete, right? Like we wouldn't want those people in our lives. So yet we're doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine that I haven't spoke to in a year. She was someone I was really close with. She messaged me this morning and I told her some stuff that had happened in my life this year that it was really traumatic. And her response was about the political situation. And I was like, okay, I have to go now. I'll talk to you later. And I wrote like 10 different responses back. They were like, why didn't you shouldn't have, you're not my friend. And I realized, like you saying that, it's like, I wouldn't take that from her. You know, I was like, I'm out of here. Thanks for messaging. Talk to you later. Like, I wouldn't take that from her, that misunderstanding, that diffusion from what we were talking about, the deflection, the over opinionation. But if I talk to myself like, oh, you're fat, or how could you, you know, how are people going to believe that you eat vegan when you're so fat, you know, like,
yeah, I know.
Like, why I would never, like, if someone said that to me, I would be like, no.
Exactly. I know. It's so interesting how we allow ourselves to talk to ourselves like that because we aren't someone else, right? And it's hard to deal with the trolls, but we're our own trolls most of the time.
We're our own trolls. Oh my gosh. Oh, on Monday we need to talk about how we're our own trolls.
Yes, we do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we are our own trolls at times.
No more self-trolling.
I like that. No more self-trolling. Let's all make resolution to stop self-trolling.
Yeah, yeah. Stop the self-trolling.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
the key takeaway of today is to stop self-trolling and create new habits.
I was going to title this Change Your Habits, Change Your Life on my podcast, but I think I might title it How to Stop Self-Trolling.
I love it. I love it.
So if you have not gotten your copy of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, then you must go to the link in my bio or the link in Lissa's bio or to bit.ly/raw yoga retreat and grab your copy right now. You get over 50 books for less than $1 a piece. It's $50 for the whole Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. It is incredible. There are books on mindset, like what we've been talking about today. There are books on debunking myths. And I learned stuff that I didn't know in that book that were not what I thought about veganism. And so, and I'm pretty open about it. So it was really actually very exciting for me to read that book. There are so many phenomenal recipe books. I particularly like, there's the chef in Nicaragua. Her name is slipping me right now. Is it Pura? It starts with a P, right?
Pure vegan food. Pacha Vega. Yeah. Pacha Vega.
Yes.
Yeah.
That book was amazing. Obviously, Lissa's book is phenomenal. The holiday book is phenomenal. Nate's book on growing sprouts is fantastic. If you haven't gotten the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, you only have like 48 hours to get it, and then it's gone forever. So definitely go and get your copy right now. You'll get an instant download to all of those books and be able to start reading them and become a semi-expert in raw veganism by tonight at 5 p.m. That is my guarantee. No,
I'm not guaranteeing
that, but still go and do that.
What Raw Koala says here, everyone get the bundle if you can. Last time I did it and I had major regret. FOMO is real because every single bundle is totally different. This bundle will never be the same way it is. So next bundle will have totally new, brand new content. So if you really like this bundle as it is, you gotta get it in the next 48 hours or so. And it's gonna be gone.
And I know a little bit of insider information. And the next bundle is going to be a completely different type of concept. So get this while you still can, because you will have regrets, like our good friend Wa Koala that's in our book club.
I love it. We got to talk about that. We got to talk
about that. But I have a live right now with
me
Kelsey,
too.
with another person with Amy.
Cool.
So I have to go on that live. But this has been so phenomenal. We could talk for lifetimes. I think that we probably already have. And I'm so grateful for you to be here today. And I'm going to upload this to my podcast. It's called Yogalebrity. So if you were not here for the whole amazing conversation that Alyssa and I just had, please do go to the Yogalebrity podcast and listen to that. I'll be uploading that this afternoon. And there are other really great conversations on there. You can get that on anywhere podcasts are. Get your Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle ASAP. It is going away in less than 48 hours. You do not want to miss out. Do not have regrets. All right. Thank you, Alyssa.
I love you so much.
Have
a great live.
Bye.
Bye.